Last time all of you were here, some of them went on protest with dynamite. Why go to a protest with a dynamite? And up to today, have you seen the police authority address the media on this? Almost going to 2 weeks. What are they waiting for? If it was a supporter of Fubara that had that dynamite, you would have seen press conferences by the commissioner of police there or the IG. Why don't you say the right thing? Today, why have they not told us who sent that man with the dynamite? And what was his real intention? Or is it because it's about Fubara? Nobody wants to do that? Or everybody have been compromised or what? So for us in opposition, we will not tolerate that. And we're telling the president, let us not do or allow his people to do things that can put Nigeria on the edge. There's challenges in Kano, where you see what is happening to undermine the authority of the opposition-led government there, led by the NMPP. Why? You have an emir that have been removed, sitting opposite the other side. All these are a recipe for crisis. Not because people don't have the boldness or either they are compromised to speak truth to power. If you want constitutional power, you go through the constitutional process. Let's not drag down our federal high court, our appeal court, our Supreme Court into the hunt by some individual who believe that there's no other business they can do in their life except the boss of the people. That is wrong. That's why we don't care. If they say they want to frame us with murder, rape, and terrorism, bring it on. None of us in the opposition is scared of that. But we'll continue like a voice in the wilderness to speak truth to power and demand that the right thing should be done. And that madness that they are fueling in rivers, it is high time it is stopped. Thank you. Press briefing to an end. Let me re-emphasize what we have said. That the Pro-Wike 27 sacked Rivers lawmakers remains sacked. Their seat remains vacant. As the appeal court today didn't decide on the legality of their decampment and the declaration of their seat vacant. And let me re-emphasize again. Appeal court did not void the declaration of the seat of the 27 Pro-Wike lawmakers vacant. They didn't void that declaration. Jumbo still remains the speaker, pending when the issue of the legality of the decampment of the sacked 27 lawmakers are resolved by a federal high court, appeal court, and the Supreme Court. Now, I want to remind not just only our dear president, also heads of security agencies, where a particular verse said, help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed, in the new national anthem. And that verse also goes on to say, so that in an atmosphere of peace and plenty, Nigeria will be blessed. So the atmosphere, some of those who are working with the federal government are trying to create, is against the value that the president was trying to put in us in the new national anthem. They are trying to force and the regime of oppression. They are trying to force insecurity and crisis. Just ordinary protests. They're always using dynamites. That is against the spirit of that verse. And that is why we're saying that let the president call those working for him to order. Same way, those regional governments we are calling on our fathers then, whether Shehu Shagari, whether Tafawa Balewa, and so on and so forth. And they did not listen, and democracy collapsed. We do not want democracy to collapse. You cannot legalize illegality. Run from here to all the courts in Nigeria. What are you looking for? That out of your own desperation, you made lawmakers to leave their political party into another political party where there was no division on a very beautiful day that was quiet. Now they ran in there and the door was locked. Now they're looking for how to escape again. They have made affidavit that they have left. They are making another affidavit that they are still there. What is all this nonsense about? People should be bold to say, stop the nonsense. You didn't find democracy. You've never made any contribution that have advanced the cause of constitutionalism in Nigeria. So why will you burn it down? Why will you go about threatening people? Why will you go about undermining people because they don't agree with you? Whether it's senators, whether it's governor, anybody that doesn't agree with you must be destroyed. Why will you do that? You don't own the democracy. You didn't make any contribution more than any of us here. Even you, gentlemen of the press. And I will call, like I said at the beginning, on the Inspector General of Police. Up till now, this is almost going to 1 week or 2 weeks or thereabouts. Somebody was carrying dynamite, explosive, on a protest by Pro-Wike supporters. That explosive exploded. It cut off his hands. I told people I was happy when I heard about it. He cut off his hand. He could have killed another innocent person. But till today, I'm now asking the IG if he's watching me. When are you going to address Nigerians? Is it because they are supporters of the FCT minister? When are you going to address Nigerians? To tell us the real intention of those people? Or is it because it's about Fubara? Didn't our national anthem told us, help us to build a nation where no man will be oppressed? Why won't you get the briefing? If it was Fubara supporter now, all of them would be everywhere. When are you going to brief us? When are those people who finance them, including those who finance that project, going to be charged for their supporters using explosives? Why are we closing mouth? Why even some of those people are affected, some of them are hiding them in different hospitals? Why? What are you waiting for? Why? This was the silence that led to the crisis of the 60s and 80s. This country belongs to all of us. Rivers contribute greatly to the cause of democracy and the economy of the nation. Same with Kano. The same ISIS. Federal institutions and federal workers and supporters fueling the crisis both in Rivers, both in Kano. To achieve what? So, I thank you all for coming. And I've also talked to our opposition leaders, both in Rivers and national here. That ruling is also being appealed. So that one is not a problem. It will be challenged vigorously at the Supreme Court. But it's also important that you know that the vote and proceedings of December 13, 2023, when Eddie Sinehi was the then speaker before Okejumbo carried on, is still valid. And that led to the declaration of the seat of the 27 former lawmakers vacant. That act of declaration of that seat, which is hinged on the express automatic provision of section 1091G, is still valid, impeccable, strong like the Rock of Gibraltar, and have not been moved. Thank you.